Hello, and welcome back to Thief Dash, our endless runner. In this video, we're going to add a scrolling background into our game to liven up that big empty white space. Just like our scrolling ground, I'm going to insert a new object, and it is going to be a tiled background. This time, instead of calling it ground, we'll call it background. Insert. Now I'm going to import some pixel art that I made, and this was made specifically with the dimensions of our viewport in mind, so this should fit perfectly inside our viewport. I'm going to set it right up here, and then I can manually change the size of this to 854 by 480, and that should snap right into place. And of course I want it in the background, so let's change the Z order to send it to the bottom of the layer. Now I have my background here. Just like my ground, I'm going to add the behavior that this is a bullet. And then we want it to move a little bit slower than our ground, so that way it seems like it's further in the background. So I'm going to make it -100. Let's go ahead and push play and see how that looks. So just like the ground, we do need to change the set angle to disabled. So now we do have that movement going backwards. That's looking good, but we will need another copy of this. That way it will connect. So let's go ahead and drop in another version of this. This was made carefully with the tile movement, the tile option on my pixel program, so these should connect perfectly. Let's set the Z order back to the back, bottom of the layer, and now these should fit very nicely. Now you see there's a little white stripe right there, so I will need to adjust it just by a little bit. This is 854, 0. There. Now it's all nice and lined up. Now let's go to the event sheet, and then just like the ground movement, we're going to program this. So the background, we're going to compare the X, and then if X is less than or equal to -854, and that's the width of my picture, that means that it'll be completely off the screen. So as soon as it gets completely off of the screen, let's set the X value to +854, which will be just outside of the screen on the other side. Now once we do that, this should work pretty nicely. We see this background that I have, and then it should have a nice seamless loop. Almost seamless, there's a little seam right there. Now we can get rid of that by, I'm just going to take the size of this one, I'm going to increase the size by a few pixels, so instead of 854, it's 856. Make both of them 856, and then that should get rid of that little seam that we saw. And there we go.